went off to instructor's course at Sale and then graduated there, and then I trained on the Mackie, taught on the Mackie for 2 years over in Perth.
Can I just take you back a bit? With the 7.0s, did you do any of those engine-out training exercises that caused 103 to...
No, that was, we were before that time, and interesting you mentioned that, because all our original crews were trained directly by Qantas, and Qantas had 20 years experience on the aeroplane, and they actually wrote their own handling manual on how to fly the aeroplane, what to do and what not to do. That manual was not brought into the Air Force manual system and identified, so that knowledge got lost and that book went missing, and that would have told them never to do it. So later on they tried doing this stuff and they didn't actually bother testing it in the simulator first, which was a huge mistake. But we would have known straight away by looking at the Qantas manual it was not a good idea what they did.
There's our museum Mackie, 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that out there.
Yeah, I flew that aeroplane. So anyway, I went off to Pearce and instructed on the Mackie for a couple of years, which was a great job. It's a fantastic little sports car, the aeroplane. It's a little bit underpowered for what it's intended to do, but it was certainly adequate for the job, and you know, a great aeroplane for training students and getting them up to speed for anything they might face when they graduate. So we did a lot of, well, the things I enjoyed the most was the aerobatics, the formation flying and the low navs, and we did plenty of that, which was really good fun. Probably the best thing about it was that you actually had a regular schedule. You had normal sort of Monday to Friday, 8 till 5, you could actually plan on that. The only time we did anything out of the ordinary was probably once a month we had to do night flying, and occasionally there was some weekend work if you got behind schedule, or at the end of each course they used to do a fly-away trip somewhere, and they used to go to somewhere like Geraldton or Learmonth and have a bit of a sort of get-together, and it was just used to basically end the course for the guys to let their hair down. The instructors had to go to that. And, quite often we take maybe 10 aeroplanes up there in a DC-3, and then half the students go up in the jets and the other half are going to DC-3, and then we swap to come home, which was actually really good fun.
What can you do in Learmonth to let your head down?
Well, I would have thought that's obvious. Fishing and drinking. Yes. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. You know, that was the kind of things you did. When you went night flying in these aeroplanes, the students went up in the circuit, you know, to go and do their night solos and things like that. Every time we had students up at night, you had to have an instructor up just in case there was a problem. But he couldn't stay in the circuit because the circuit was full of students. You can only take 6 aeroplanes in the circuit. So the night instructor, he was called the shotgun, and he would just whiz around. He had to go out in the training area and just be ready in case something went wrong, which virtually never did. So I used to get bored out there, you know. So that's when I learned to do night aerobatics. And everybody did it. And fortunately, you had the night lights of Pearce, so when your AI toppled, it invariably did after about 5 minutes of aerobatics, you could actually then recover and point it back at Perth and wait for the AI to realign itself so you could carry on and do it again. You know? So that's how you pass the time when the students are doing their circuits and bugs. Anyway, very nice aeroplane, thoroughly enjoyed it.